Games 2018. We're into the final action of the day in the formation skydiving round 5 with Ray Ahmed and me, Regan Tetlow. We're going into the female category now of round 5, and I've got some results, Ray, from the 3 rounds that have been scored so far. Currently third place Voswin girls with a round 1 of 7 points and 12 points on round 2, 13 points on round 3, giving them 32 points in total. Not bad for their first time, in the top category. NFTO, your home team, your old team there with Kath and a rabbit called Waffle. Yes, teasing her. They had a round 1 of 20 points, round 2 of 20 points as well. And then they came back with a 21 on round 3, so very consistent there, 61 points in total.
They're definitely getting stronger as the competition progresses.
Leading the pack, as you probably would expect, the French girls, Wimby French female, 21 points on round 1, 23 points on round 2, and 25 on round 3, giving them 75 points in total.
So Pamela from the French girls team is actually watching from home. So big shout out, Pamela. We hope you are healing fast. Your alternate Gail is doing a very good job without you, so don't worry too much.
It's going to be a fast round, I believe, isn't it? Round 5?
It's what I think is probably one of the fastest rounds after round 4, DB9N. So you've got 3 randoms and a random block with the 9. So it's going to be pretty speedy.
Almost a random round, isn't it?
Pretty much. And it's great that for the FS jumpers, that this is the round to finish on for the day.
100 points.
100?
Yeah.
You going for 100?
Between them.
I'll go for 102.
Okay, that's what it's going to be. Hope you're enjoying the action. You can check out all the information. We've got everything on the Facebook page, the Win Games community, and on the web page as well, which is windowsrealfly.com. Check it all out. All the action is there for you. Loads of stuff to come today. We've got the Soros Speed, we've got all the freestyle as well, that's going to be with us. We've got the full team of presenters. Emma's going to be back in the house, Emma Scrivener. Dominica Ger is here as well. She'll be giving us some expert analysis as we go through the day. We started off this morning with me and Ray Ahmed, and then Leslie Gale from skydivemag.com was also in the studio. Round 5, the girls are ready. The Norwegians are there prepared for this big burn around, Ray.
Yeah, it's a big one, and you know the girls hopefully should live up to this. They had first round wasn't the best round for them, getting used to this type of competition, the glass walls, and entirely setting themselves up for competing at this level. And they're definitely on it now. They're getting stronger, and I think the nerves have now gone. So let's see what they've got.
Here we go.
A nice smile from Oda. Here we are, and they're in the tunnel. Grip switch there to the D. There we go. End of the 9 to the N. D, B. There's a random block. We call it a random block for those at home that might not know too much about the FS. We call it a random block because it pretty much is very similar to a random, but it's a block, so it's very quick, random moves in between. So everybody's on and off grips, and you're moving independent of each other. So it's not really a block move where you have 2 pieces or 2 or 3 people intact moving a piece around the tunnel. There we go. Not the easiest randoms either, but they're working their way through it. And that's a good round from the Voswin girls. They're definitely growing in confidence. Vilda just doing a spin there. She exits the tunnel.
When you mentioned about being in the glass walls, aren't they all glass walls?
They are, but these girls have mainly been doing, any of their competition has been at Bedford, so they're used to being inside that, that very enclosed environment of Bedford. They're not used to competing in this, even though they train in Vosvind, which is all glass. They're not used to competition in this environment, and I think they're just getting used to that competition now. And
I've never been to Bedford. Is it concrete walls or something?
Concrete walls, a couple of little eye hole glasses, spy hole glasses you can look through into the tunnel. And they've got a glass on one section, but it's mainly just enclosed. And you do feel like it's just you flying in there. You don't feel particularly open to the public.
Right.
So here we go.
Very different scenario, yeah. Here's gone the girls, the
NFTO. And showing us what they can do. I mean, I flew with Anna and on NFTO. I flew with Debs last year or the year before on a team as well, and all very strong flyers. Kath has always been a very strong flyer. Varna obviously been competing for a very long time. Good headspace and good skill set. So I'm expecting good things from these girls.
They're looking good, aren't they? They're really looking tight as a team.
This is what you want to see, You can tell what it goes to, like, you know, they've got the confidence from getting that the bronze meat medal in 2014, and they ended up high on that in 2016, sorry. And, you know, they're growing in confidence.
They are pure athletes, as good as sport gets there from this team. They really are looking on form.
Yeah, it's very cheated, those from the 9, which is interesting. It's very good.
All right, now here we go. This is the French girls currently on 75 points after 3 rounds scored. This is round 5.
Yeah, here we go. Flying with their super alternate gale. And straight out the door. Oh, just hesitation there on from the end of the 9 to the end. And here we go. Looks good so far. I mean, you know, I'm watching it now from the French girls, and I honestly thought this would be the faster round than the previous round, and I knew they'd be close, but, you know, it looks a little bit more. The randoms are a lot trickier. NDB to the 9, but they're making short work of it.
Yeah, D is one of the trickier little randoms, isn't it? You know, with the point and the compressed at the front end there. And
it is. I haven't seen any variation of engineering yet. I'm not sure what we can see. I think from an N to a D, probably not too much. No, not really too much you can see there, but you could see some cheats on the 9s, on the back piece on the 9. Keep it quite cheated at the top of it from the B.
all right, open to the open category now. Our 23 teams. This team from France with that team name which looks Spanish, Los Puristos.
We need to ask them that. We're going to get all the French teams up. We're going to have a chat with all of them to find out how they all know each other, how they all formed as teams.
We haven't got everybody scored on 3 rounds yet. Quite a few of them. It's coming through. I'm just going to have a look through to where they are. They've got 3 rounds scored. 48 points. 18, 15, 15.
So in the tunnel we have Los Puristos. Starting well. So close of the, oh dear, slight confusion there. Just crawling over each other on the close of that block 9. There you go. They're very deliberate, so, you know, they're not taking it too fast. Obviously, they're finding their feet a little bit. You know, it's hard when you go from, like, you know, watching the French girls who are up there in the top of the open leaderboard and then coming back to watch the beginning of the open category. Bit of a difference in training time and time with each other as a team. So these guys, it looks a little bit slower, a little bit more deliberate, but they are a newer form team. You know, we're not entirely sure how much training they've done together. So just it gives you guys at home the chance to see how the formations are, how they're formed, and, you know, and the intricacies that go with it when it's not flown at full pelt.
Beat Air Force are going to be next. They've got 13, 14 and a 14 after 3 rounds scored. 41 points on the board.
It's not bad. Another French team, of course, BE Air Force. A little bit of under rotation from the outside centre, yeah. So we can see here from the end, some confusion there. This is what can happen when you have 3 blocks in 3 randoms and a random block. You know, sometimes if you don't communicate very well, you can get lost in where you are in the formation, your body position moves out a little bit, grips can come away from you, but I think they were out of time on that one.
Next up, Le Faux Cretins. They've got 3 points, 3 rounds scored, 47 points in total, with a 17 on round 1, 14 on round 2, and a 16 on round 3, Ray.
Wow. Pretty good, huh?
Yeah, consistent.
Very consistent. And that's what you want from a competition, especially if, you know, people, you know, maybe you're a combination of different teams and different lineups and you're just here to have a little bit of fun. It's great to have that consistency. It shows the it shows how well individually you fly and how well you can put yourself into a new team environment, which is good to see. Doing well here. Yeah, you can see just on the top of the nines, the compressed piece. It's a compress and a cat on the back. So the back piece flying a cat 180, and the on the front on the 9 they fly a compress. Some go over, some go under. On the front of the compress, it's up to you really for style and technique. But you can just see that we saw on the previous team there's a little bit of under rotation when the outside center was flying that point, but these guys actually showed you how it should be done.
Next up, 1 point ahead after 3 rounds scored. Barak with a 15, a 16 and a 17 on the board. And they're with the Los Poritos, they're also on a 48 as well. So 2 teams there on 48 after 3 rounds scored, this is.
Oh. It's all very close, isn't it? Just as we suspected across the leaderboard, pretty much. Here we go, Team Barak. Just a placement of where you're putting yourself in the tunnel. These, you know, it's all about the axis, the line at which you're building the formations on, so you don't have people reaching for grips, which we're seeing a little bit here, which throws you to your next point. Just a little bit of confusion and hesitation. You know, you can think you're looking across at, you know, your tail, you think you're putting yourself in the right place, but this is where the creeping and the visualization, creeping especially, is quite important to make sure you're putting it on the creepers as you would put it in the tunnel.
Next up, the Air Annie Palmer is now there after 3 rounds on 47 as well, tied with Le Cretins, the 2 French team neck and neck. 17 on round 1, 15 on round 2, and a 15 on round 3. Incredible moustache.
That's great. I figure I feel like putting one on myself.
We had one in the studio yesterday. Oh, you've got it right there. Looking amazing, like Super Mario, actually.
Thank you. I think it's a good look. Shall I keep it on, Regan?
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay, it's done. In the spirit of being the Wing Games, I shall wear this for a few minutes.
Okay.
So in at the moment.
The Herbivores Annie Palmiers. I'm sure I'm saying that completely wrong.
Herbivores Annie Palmiers.
That was the far out.
It's very bright. Is that a red or orange jumpsuit? I think it's orange.
It's orange, yes.
It was interesting actually from some of the camera angles. I was watching the two-way dynamic, and I can't remember which team. There's a pink jumpsuit team with Gregor and Nini, and I think it looks red on the screen, but it's actually a very deep pink. So sometimes we can get our colours confused.
Papia Mixto now next, 40 points on the board, 13 on round 1, 14 on round 2, 13 points on round 3.
Next in we have Papaya Mixto. So this is the mixed team from Spain. Again, not so trained, not very well trained in their flying yet. Just recently formed, so taking a non-linked exit into the door. You know, for us, like we see it as standard that, you know, people are taking in these entrances into the tunnel all linked up, but it can be quite tricky if you don't train them. At the end of the day, if you launch something into the tunnel and you're all linked and you catch some air and you're not all placing yourself in the tunnel or flying into the center of the tunnel, it can go horribly wrong for you. And you want to make sure that doesn't happen. So some of these teams that haven't had the chance to practice these entrances into the tunnel will just take it all unlinked to make sure they can all fly into the same place and start from a good place with the first random or block. So that was Papaya Mixto.
And next up we have the Odin parachute system. Just checking through the scores to see where they are, just flicking through the 59 points, 23 round 1, 14 round 2, 22 on round 3.
I'm super impressed with this team. You know, these guys really suffered on round 2. They had seven or 8 busts on round 2. I think it was 7, and you know, just from a variety of different reasons. But they're super fast flyers, and they're going well here. I don't think they're of the will build up. I think it's one of these things that they're probably going to learn in time, you know, to build the pace, to make sure on and off the grips together. It's probably why they'll have a high level of bust, but they will learn from this competition and move forward. You know, if they see a high level of bust per round, they'll know it's down to the fact that the judges aren't seeing the grips, or there's incomplete formations because they're not synchronous by coming on and off the grips together. And even I'm seeing it now a little bit on the video. The faster the round is for them, they need to slow themselves down a little bit, not get too carried away. But very good flying, nonetheless.
Next up, this team from Russia, the IFS Moscow, and they've had a good start to the competition. 70 points, equaling Gavosh Winby with a 25 on round 1, 22 on round 2, and 23 points on round 3.
These are experienced flyers. You know, the Russian flyers. We all know that the Russians, when they come with a team, they always bring in something into the mix. And they're strong flyers and they're super efficient. And I expect to see them in the top 5 at least. So, and we're seeing that, which is great to see. I really like watching them because they start off in a nice, you know, easy pace and then just ramp it up, and you don't really notice how much they're ramping up until this point, which is probably 15 seconds in to the round, and now they can go full pelter. You know, you very rarely see the big mistakes from them. You know, they just go at their own pace and do their own thing, and it's really good to see. Super efficient flying. I think we need to find out where Black Cat are. I haven't seen Black Cat in a while.
Yeah, I was talking about them with Leslie. I asked if she had any news on them or what they're up to, but no, it's all a bit quiet on the Black Cats. But yeah, it'd be good to find out what's going on with them for sure.
I'm sure Leslie will come back and tell us when she's next in front of the camera. Let us know what's going on with Black Cat. But these guys, that was a really good round from them. I mean, you know, you don't see something, you don't go blistering pace, you don't go, oh, that, you know, not sure about that. They just are super efficient and confident in their flying, and they know they can pull it off. Pajama Puma's giving us a wave. Hi, Matt.
Hi, guys. Currently tied with Monaco. It's interesting. Oh, well, actually, Monaco have not got the 3rd round scored. But Pajama Puma's on a 14 on round 1, 14 round 2, 11 on round 3.
There's some Paul there as well, and then Kate. Ready, flying in the airflow, flying his tail. So, just a confusion on the grips there as they enter the tunnel. That D is not easy to take into the tunnel as a linked exit. But, you know, the Pajama Pumas, this is, you know, maybe with a little bit of an extension, this is pretty much a AA draw from them with 1 extra random. So they should be used to this. You can tell their confidence is growing. They're smiling all the time. They're really enjoying themselves. There are no expectations on their shoulders. They're here to show themselves and compete and to get used to being in an environment and competing at a senior level event and meet other competitors. You know, it's really good to see UK teams coming over and doing that. And they're out of time. Hopefully a quick wave as they walk past. High fives all round.
Next up, Papaya with a 19, 18 and a 21, 58 points, tied with Winby Lijon after the 3 rounds scored.
Yeah, Papaya Masculino, they're doing really well, and you can see them eking out averages every competition you see them in, and they're definitely the stronger of the Papaya teams. They've been together for longer. There we go, took that D into the tunnel. It's good to see. I mean, I remember seeing them a few competitions ago, watching them, thinking, you know, they're making some mistakes here in a few places where they probably didn't need to, and I think they're coming away from, and I'm seeing less mistakes from them. You know, they're definitely looking more, they're behaving more as a team, as a unit, and that's good to see. I'm not sure who's coaching them. I must find out. I will come back to you about that.
Just watching outside the studio, right where we are now, I can see the team from Monaco doing their final bit of preparation for this round. But next up, the team that were currently tied after 3 rounds with Papier Masco is the Wimby Legion. Let's see what they do now compared to what we've just seen. A little bit of analysis to bring to the table on these 2 teams.
A bit of a slow-mo there from Papier Masculino on a random sprint. Next in we have Wimby Legion, or Legion. Okay, I'll just stick to my English and say Legion.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Legion.
Legion. Okay, I like that one.
Here we go.
And they're in. Yeah, this is the thing with Block 9. Some people like to take the vert, as you can see now, from the front piece. So here we go, compress, and you can see the outside centre going under. There's 2 schools of thought. You know, if you can pull it off and you can get your whole body under, that's going to work really well. The whole front half of your body, sorry, not your whole body. So probably dipping your head to shoulders just under your piece partner. You know, but sometimes people just can't manage that. I know I struggled with that for years, and I just stuck to not having the vert in there. Didn't harm me too much. Just depends upon who your partner is.
You just didn't fancy it, the moves? It just didn't feel right? Or?
No, I was just a bit incapable. It took me a while to you know, train it into me.
I don't know about that. Airheads, they're going to be next. Let's have a look at their previous scores. Just flicking through, not doing bad at all there, Ray. 72 points after 3 rounds, 26, 22, 24. It's not a bad average, is it?
It's brilliant. It's great to see. There's such a good bunch of people as well to go and have a chat to, and they are now representing Switzerland. It's good to see, you know, the military team, but it's good to see them come in and look like they're really hungry for it. I haven't seen a Swiss team in the FS discipline in some time.
Yeah, I was over in Switzerland in the end of last summer when they had the Swiss Nationals. I was doing a commentary on a gas balloon event on the same airfield, and they were there, and there was a few teams. There was like 5 or 6 teams there taking part in the 4-way. It was interesting to see.
That's good. It's good. It should be coming back. It's good to see FS coming back for Switzerland, and I guess the advent of all the tunnels and close proximity to so many tunnels will do that. But these guys are flying. You know, they're flying really fast. I'm going to ask them how much training they've done, but they're very competent flyers. And you know, look at that. Fist pumps in the air.
Yeah.
I love that.
It was a beautiful airfield, beautiful drop zone in Gruyere, just beyond the Swiss Alps, not far from Lake Geneva. Absolutely gorgeous place.
So you'd recommend it?
Yeah.
Definitely. Okay, I'm going to go. I'm in. Don't need to be convinced.
Echo Chamber are going to be next, and now they're even just eking ahead, just 1 point ahead after the 3 rounds on the board. 28, a 22, and a 23. So we're getting into some good standards now. We're going to see some people starting to rip up this program.
The Echo Chamber started really strong, and I feel like they've slowed themselves down a little bit and just getting a little bit scrappy.
After that 28 points.
I was surprised because I was expecting them to continue through with this, you know, on it the whole time, and they just slowed themselves down a tad. I'm not entirely sure why, but hopefully them slowing themselves down and then ramping up the pace is what they're trying to work on. But as discussed, I think, I don't know if it was with yourself or with Leslie, that she was mentioning that they are trying some new block techniques which might have slowed them down. So maybe round 1 was their, you know, they were comfortable with those blocks and hadn't changed any technique on them, so therefore they could go as fast as they wanted to. That was a good round from Team Echo Chamber. Smiles all round.
So the next team in the Monaco Aerokart Juniors, only currently 2 rounds scored, 18 on round 1, 20 on round 2, and they are the youngest competitors we've got here. I did chat with them, I mentioned it to you earlier, they want to continue until they are world champions, and I said yes, we do.
2 of them are 13 and 2 of them are 15, and they're very competent flyers, but you can tell when you look at them, they're like, you still feel that they have such a long way to go, and maybe that's in a you know, just a training or a visual or a mental state that they need to be in, and they're going to be a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they will be world champions.
They've just
in years
got
to
their third round score to 15 now. So an 18, a 20, and a 15, 53 points is their current score after 3 rounds on the board.
come. It's not bad. They're doing very well. And they're doing a good job here, you know. A little bit reachy for the grips, you know. I could find, I've seen that in previous rounds as well. Maybe that's just the jumpsuit and the nature of the white on the end of the jumpsuit. I just feel like they're reaching for things a little bit. Could probably fire a little bit close proximity to each other, but that was a good round from them.
When you think, 13 years of age at that standard, I was 10 years away from my first skydive. I didn't do my first jump until I was 23. How old were you when you did your first parachute
I did my first parachute jump when I was 28.
28?
Old goat.
Yeah.
When I started jumping, and I didn't even know what parachuting was when I was a kid.
What were you doing when you were 13, Ray?
I was a nerd. I was had my head in my books, playing
Right.
chess.
Yeah.
That's really sad, but very true.
Uh-huh.
Wasn't really very sporty, didn't do very much. Just concentrating on hitting those books, coming
Right.
top of my class every year. But I made up for it now, eh?
Yeah, you certainly have. Monaco next. We just watched them training outside the studio. 20 to 19 and a 17, giving them 56 after 3 rounds.
That's good. How are they comparing to their boys? Are they?
Well, 56, 53.
Oh, there's not much in it, eh? No, not much in it at all. I do like the. They seem to have a new vigour to them, the Monaco team, and they've been competing for some time, but they're definitely bringing some good energy into the competition now. I always feel like when you're looking at, I know it's a checkered flag type of thing on their helmets, but it looks like teeth to me.
It does, because they're hungry.
Hungry.
Talking of hungry, I'm getting hungry, are you?
Yeah, it's almost lunchtime.
It's almost lunchtime. 12:20 here in Spain.
We've been going since 8 o'clock, or 8:15 this morning.
Yeah. Yeah, live in the studio at 8:15. Here earlier than that, walking out of the hotel in the dark.
Oh dear.
6:30 alarm. What time is your alarm this morning?
6 o'clock.
Oh, wow.
Well, I've got to do my face and my hair and all of
Yeah.
that type of stuff. That's really important.
I don't bother. I've got a good face for radio, I've been told. Jetmax are up next. Let's have a look where they are in the scores. I'll just flick through and see if I can find them, Ray. Just give me a second. Just a little bit behind the power curve here. Jetmax. Here we go. 52 points. 18, 18, 16.
Wow. They're going to be pleased with that, I think, Jetmax. Good stuff we're seeing from Jetmax. Yeah, anything with sticking an N in it and making the randoms that we have here with the NDB, the random sprint, is very different to the PCF that we had in the previous round.
Yes.
Much harder randoms, not harder per se, but there's a lot more movement in between the randoms. So while on paper it might look like round 5 is a very fast round, as I might have mentioned at the beginning of this competition, I think round 4 is a pretty quick round as well, just for the nature of the randoms.
It's going to be interesting to see what these top teams make of it.
Yes, definitely.
Next up, we've got Excel, and their 3-round score is 65 with a 23, 20, and a 22. This new lineup.
It's getting there, isn't it? The tunnel's filling up for those at home, those watching, filling up with all the rest of the competition that's coming up later on today. I think it's nice to get a little bit of overlap, getting some of these the dynamic flyers in to see a little bit of what's going on in the FS. And so it's good. The tunnel is filling up, means it's getting a little bit warmer because it's chilly outside. And Excel are in. You can just see on the top of the 9, Peter just going over Pete. And of course they're going to be drilling in this block technique because Pete, or Taff, has obviously been flying with a different team, different way of flying, and they would just be trying to bring their technique into line with each other, I think. And I think that's probably what they're focusing on right now.
Well, that's it for the day for Excel.
they can now relax. Maybe walk the next few dives and then just relax for the afternoon.
Gavosi Wimby currently tied after 3 rounds scored of 70 points with IFS Moscow. They had a 25 on round 1, 21 on round 2, and came back on round 3 with 24 points.
Excellent. I like a bit of competition. So we have Clement Martin. All these guys, they've been... Gavroche have been around for a very long time, and they're a very strong lineup. And it's good to see them working hard, pushing, still competing all the time, being one of the, top French teams in this competition. There are so many French teams that, it's good to see them here showing other French competitors how it should be done. And Julien obviously flying as well. No longer having Wimby high rollers. It's good to see what he will be doing in the future with Roy.
Six more teams still to come after this.
Here we go. Gavroche Wimby going strong.
70 points after 3 rounds. Next with 60 points after 3 rounds scored, Team 419, Tenanin, a 21 on round 1, Ray, 19 on round 2, and 20 points on round 3. 21, 19, 20.
So Moulet was saying to me earlier that their team were looking for about a 23 to 24 average for this competition. So let's see if they can pull that one off. And they're in. Looking good, nice, deliberate flying.
Just some information on the live stream at the moment, Ray. We've got viewers from Spain, the main countries that are being watched right now: Spain, France, Italy, UK, USA, and total views so far 22,530.
That's not bad for a morning's work.
Not bad for a morning's work, is it? Big thumbs up there from Tenanin as they leave the tunnel for their day. They're done. Amnesia are going to be up next, and let's have a look how they've been doing. We're just flicking through. We've got a 66 points total after 3 rounds. 24, 22, and 20 is their 3 rounds. These are Italians.
They've been looking really good.
Yeah, they are.
And I'm super impressed. And I'm hoping that their confidence grows with this because they have been very good.
Another new lineup, looking very strong.
Looking very good. They're looking a little bit sticky actually on this, which I'm not sure why. They flew with so much confidence in the previous round. Maybe it's the nature of the randoms that they have. And just looking a little bit sticky. I don't think they seem to have found their rhythm on this round. Let's see how they feel as they come out.
Let's have a look at the faces, see that reaction of them there. It's hard to see.
Yeah.
Just catching them from behind. Real Fly Sion are going to be next. 80 points on the board, a 29, a 24, and a 27 Ray. It's looking good for those guys.
It is very much so. And again, this is the type of team that you watch and you think, oh, it's not going too fast, but they've flown together for a while. They know each other very well. They are the open team for France. They are very strong flyers. And, they have that way of flying that they have, but they have the efficiency and they're able to deal with any of the energy that they carry into the flying. And they've done it for a very long time, so they're very good at this. And going very well so far. Just building the pace. which is very good to see. Nicely done. I like clockwork.
Yeah, it's looking good, isn't it? Now, we're really seeing this draw coming alive here now.
It is, it's great. It's really good for everybody watching in the studio, in the tunnel as well, to see the fastest round of the competition as the last FS round of the day. So
Yeah.
I think it's pretty good.
It is, isn't it? A showcase for a lot of these competitors as well. They probably don't really see much, the dynamic or the freestyle competitors who are just arriving now. We probably don't really see much world-class four-way.
No,
And
exactly.
they're going to see that now, so it's an interesting time.
Definitely.
If you just joined us on the live feed, you're one of 22,530 people that have been watching from Europe, Spain, France, Italy, from the UK and the USA this morning as we've been going into the second day of the action here at Wing Games 2018. Next up, Qatar Tigers with 77 points on the board, a 27 on round 1, 25 on round 2 and a 25 on round 3.
It's very interesting. Serious faces on. I were really expecting them to see them push Real Fly Sion, and I'm sure they will. Hopefully in this round they will do so.
I just got a message through from Alan Watson. He said, we're also watching in Australia, mate. And hello, Alan. Very good morning, good evening, or whatever it is for you.
Speed. They're just getting up. It's hard for me to figure that one out. Oh dear. Some confusion there, which point they were on. We go to the end of the 9 and so we had a little bit of a glitch on the first few pages, on the second or third page of that, and another one now, but I think they're out of time. It's a good job from the Qatar Tigers.
So at the top of the board, Airspeed and Hayabusa. Arizona Airspeed with a 29, a 26 and a 27. And Hayabusa with a 31, a 26 and a 27. So look at that, after the 2 rounds scored off the second round and the third round, the neck and neck. It's just that first round that's made the difference. Arizona Airspeed on 82. Hayabusa on 84, and here's Airspeed now. This is after the 3 rounds that have been scored so far that we've got on the system. This is the 5th round of the competition that we're watching.
It is indeed. And on that last round, I think Leslie called it Hayabusa and I called it Airspeed on that round 3. We were both wrong. They tied it. So let's see. They're starting off nice and calm. I shall see them ramp over. Nice execution on the top of those 9s. That's what you need to do when you want to vert a 9. It's as if there's no vertical at all. It's like clockwork. Oh, a little bit of a confusion on the grips there though. I'm sure they're on and off, but they're very fast. I wouldn't want to be a judge on this round. Tricky. It's that whole thing of, for those of you watching at home, is trying to see, because they're going so fast now, that it's trying to see if all those grips are coming on and off together at the same time. But that was an excellent round from Airspeed.
One more flight to come to bring the end of the formation skydiving for today to a close. And Hayabusa, undisputed indoor and outdoor world champions, the best team the world has ever seen when it comes to 4-way, and they're currently on 84 points, 31 points on round 1, 26 points on round 2, 27 points on round 3. Keep your eyes on the tunnel now. This is going to be a complete masterclass of 4-way flying. Hayabusa.
And they're in. It's good flying. You know, again, like Airspeed, they started off slow, building up the speed. There are certain blocks, like the 9s, they have the vert in there as well, and it's clockwork. It's just amazing to see. And, you know, as I said, like they just make it, they're going super fast, but they just don't look like they're going super fast. And it's good to see that. It is a masterclass of 4-way. And they're flying in really close proximity to each other, you know. That's amazing. Brilliant.
And a nice round of applause from the audience here at the window watching the action live. You can see a good shot of the crowd there. It's a full house here this afternoon as we get towards 25 to 1 in the afternoon, and the four-way is done for today. We've had 5 rounds of VFS and we've had 5 rounds of the four-way open and the female with Ray. It's been a good morning's work.
It's been a great morning's work.
You're going to be back with us a little bit later on this afternoon, but it's break time now for you. We're going to be, well, back here with the live action very shortly, but in the meantime, let's just have a look at the afternoon's panel of events, what we've got coming up. So you can see there, we're going to be going into the junior freestyle compulsory round 1, and then into the two-way knockout, then the freestyle open, solo speed, junior freestyle, four-way speed, freestyle open, two-way, and then the end of the day is 21:47 is when it starts, and we should be done by about 10 p.m. tonight. We're going to be back here in the studio in about half an hour time with me and Dominic Ager with the junior freestyle. Join us then in about 30 minutes.
I have to be focused.